Welcome to Cine here, where you come for all of your media needs. My name is Ray.
It's your boy Nikki Tay.
And today, we're going to do something a little bit different. We know we got a lot going on. Some people are quarantined. Other people are working from home. So me and Nikki Tay decided to do something different. We still got to give content. We might can't go to the movie theaters, but we still can deliver content. So we're going to start reviewing some Netflix movies and other platforms that you can maybe check out during all these times of being in the house and being bored. So today we are reviewing The Platform.
Directed by Galder Gastel and Russia, starring Ivan Mesage. The Platform is a movie in which takes place at a prison facility, at least that's how it appears, with multiple floors, and every day the highlight of this prison facility is that the food, which is made on the top floor, floor 0, is then moved down throughout the facility, which we know there are a lot of floors. We're talking hundreds of floors. And the idea is that this food should be able to reach, hopefully you would think, the every floor within this prison facility, but we know people are selfish in nature, and that's not the case. And the main guy is actually somebody who volunteered to be in this prison facility, and we get to see the events that unfold for the movie. Now, this movie is very interesting, deals with a lot of themes. There's absolutely a lot to digest after watching the film. But overall, the film is very entertaining. I think it is a movie that a lot of people will be interested in, not because it is one of the top 10 movies currently streaming on Netflix, but just because it is something that feels different, right? I mean, I have a few movies that aren't as big that it kind of reminds me of, like The Cube or even The Circle, which is also on Netflix. But The Platform stylistically is a bit different, and where it actually ends up is a fun ride.
And I always like to commend directors and writers when they try to take a different approach to suspense and horror movies. I think that The Platform is a shining light in that aspect because it does something completely different. And usually when you take these risks, they usually don't tend to end well, and that's why a lot of directors and writers don't like to take these risks because they want to make money and they want to be praised for their work. So they normally don't take these kind of risks, but I got to commend them for doing it in this movie, and that's what makes it stand out for me, is a different approach in which they try to execute this movie. And I thought that the concept of the movie was really good and probably the best part of the movie.
One of the biggest negatives to this film is probably the dub is awful. You almost kind of wish, for a lot of people, even if you didn't have a chance, that you watched it with subtitles only, just to get the Spanish actors and their emotion. I absolutely don't care for dub things, especially when it's a poor execution with the English actors really not giving the same effort that you know the original actors gave in their voice. But for that really to be the only negative, you know, this film still does a good job. I mean, you kind of close your eyes every now and then, you get out of that, just listen to the people talk, and don't watch the lips, you know, don't focus on the lips. Focus on the story, because that's why you're here.
I think my biggest negative about this movie will be the pacing. It's fast in parts and then it's really slow at parts, and it doesn't, for me, have a very even pacing. It's all sporadic. But as far as most things in the movie, everything else was pretty much done well. I probably would have wanted to see a little bit more deaths and kills. They gave you a lot. No, they didn't give you a lot. They gave you some, but I probably wanted to see a little bit more. And also, maybe explore a few other people in the movie. Maybe just briefly, just to see how they are coping with the changing of floors and being switched and swapped and moved around. Maybe see more different people other than the few that we got a chance to see in this movie.
Yeah, it's really hard to talk about this film without wanting to spoil large parts of it, because this is a movie that's meant to be discussed. You're meant to have a dialogue afterwards, talk about why, why does the prison exist the way it does? How could they make the prison work? Is it impossible for everybody to get food? Could there be a way that everybody eats, or, should there be something else, And then the ending, too. The ending is really, No Country for Old Men. It just ends, right? And that I know a lot of people will probably have feelings about that. Let's talk about it. What happens at the end? Where does it go? What do you see happening in the platform too? Right? And a movie like this is always good for those kind of things, which I personally enjoy.
The platform really does leave you hungry for more because there are a lot of different levels with this movie, and it can go in a lot of different ways on how you might rate a movie like this because it makes you think. It has that component to it. But I think that this movie was executed well, and I think that anybody that is currently being quarantined or have to stay at home or just want to watch a movie, that this is a movie that is worth watching. With that being said, I will have to give this movie a 7.8. I do think that it was a very solid movie, but with the pacing issues and the dub, it does lend it not to be as good as it really could have been if those two things didn't exist.
For this movie, I'm in the same boat. I'm going to give it a 7.8. I think it's a good movie, enjoyable. It's not going to win any awards, but it's definitely a movie that you would watch, and if you were so interested, you would probably watch again. It's a quick movie, easy to download, easy to have a discussion about, and probably one that you'll tell a lot of people to watch in the event. They say, hey, have you seen any good movies? It's like, oh, I got one that you probably never seen. It's The Platform. So a good recommendation film for Netflix. That completes the review for The Platform, currently streaming on Netflix. If you had a chance to see the film, let's actually talk about it now in the comments. Not too much, though. We don't want to spoil it for other people. But we can have, a back and forth that decently sums up the movie and how you felt and we felt about it if we want to go into more detail. Make sure, after you're done talking about the film, that you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you check out our other movie reviews. And as always, don't forget, you've seen it here.